Hey everybody, welcome in, and it's time again to do another what best to get from the exchange. So our exchanges have been changing up a lot recently, and now let's go in and see what is going to maximize you. So for the premium exchange, everything here is quite pricey, but when you're comparing value from from exclusive characters to farmable characters, most exclusive characters have a higher price tag. So three tokens for 450 gems, or 6 for 900. Now, what's interesting is Hades, Shan, and Mordu all used to be exclusives, but now no longer are, but they still hold that price tag. So it's kind of like they're still treating them as exclusives at the moment, which I think in the future that'll probably change. But every other character has gone down to about 50 gems per token, which is actually quite a decent rate, especially for event characters. So the only time I would use this exchange is during an event if the character that you're choosing will get you to the next stage by investing into that character. So like during the Frozen event, how to progress in there, I showed you all that I got some of the Olaf and Sven tokens here because I found that I just couldn't farm enough to get further in the event. So I'd rather spend a little bit of my gems on them and then go and get further. So if you consider this to the kind of event packs that we buy for about 800 gems, we'll usually get around 8 to 10 or so character tokens. For nearly half the price, you're going to be getting that. So that's a decent value for what you're getting. But just remember that most of the characters are farmable, so you can eventually work on a lot of these. So that is for the character tokens for the premium exchange. Now there is also gear, and the gear is very costly, and you'll be far better off just spending those like 50 to 100 gems on refreshers to farm gear to try and get all of these gear pieces. Now the only time outside of those circumstances is if someone has a whole lot of gems, spending a lot of money on the game, and can just wants to have what they want when they want it. That is pretty much the only reason why anyone would want to do this. So that gets quite pricey, and especially when you're looking at here 200 gems for 20 brooms, it gets pricey, and especially when we'll see in the later tabs how much value that will get you in the other currencies. So let's move on to the gold tab. Here, the brooms also can be quite pricey. Now, some people will look at them and go, oh, 20k, that's not bad. But considering you need 20 to use them to make one piece of gear, that's going to be 200k. That the price is just going up, and that's nuts. Now, down the bottom here, using the 800 or 8,000 for say the heart dust, that is actually very, very good value. Now, if you have a lot of extra gold, these are the ones that I would recommend getting, because every character needs about 3 to 4 of those heart dusts. And if you invest wisely with your energy farming pieces of gear that are very higher level, would you rather spend your energy on low level gear that you can buy for cheap, or high level gear that's going to cost a lot? So farming is generally always best spent farming on the highest gear characters that you can, the highest gear for your characters, for the energy it costs to get it. And for me currently, I am claiming my refresh here, and getting any of these. I'm just loading up, trying to have a stockpile for when any other characters are released, or I'm upgrading characters. I can always do characters as soon as I need it. Now, for this and going forward in all the other tabs, I would only recommend that once you have geared up your main team. Focus on your main team first, and then work on some stockpiles to work on future characters that you need. Now, moving into the club exchange. Here, this is where things can get a little bit more tricky. This is probably one of the best value tabs on characters and on gear. So we'll start with the characters, and the best two in here. So you got Baloo and Jack Sparrow are the exclusives for this one. Now, Baloo badly needs a buff. Probably not worth investing in just yet, but eventually, maybe if he gets a buff, he will be. Jack Sparrow, on the other hand, is actually a very, very decent character. I've done showcases on him if anyone wants to check that out, of why he is good. But also because he's oceanic, and there are only a handful of oceanic characters in the game at the moment, as well as he'll probably be the easiest one to farm. So for using him for tower, for the new Sorcerer's trials that will be coming up for the speed stones and defense stones, he will probably be needed, but you will also need to balance that to get through those trials with having the other characters. So he will be a very good character to have, but you only really need to have him at a usable state. So you don't really need to invest fully in him. Kristoff, on the other hand, right over there, he's not an exclusive, so he's cheaper, and you can farm him, but also you will need him for the Frozen event, and the whole Frozen team is broken OP. I would kind of recommend get Jack Sparrow to a level that you'll use him or need to use him, depending on what tower level you're on or how far you can progress in other modes. 4 or 5 star would probably more than suffice for that, probably. So that is only how far I'd get him. But Kristoff, on the other hand, get him up to max, because by the time the Frozen event comes around, you want to be ready, as long as you're targeting your farming for all the other characters as well. And this is one way you don't have to spend all your energy on him. You can just spend out on gear. Spend your energy on other characters and get him there. Now, all the other characters in here, some people like to get Mickey from here because Mickey is very good in Kingdom. Yes, but my preference would be the other two, for the reasons I've stated. Whereas Mickey's kind of like, if he's your main team and you really need him, but then you can always farm him. Now, going down to gear. Alright, now for gear, let's start all the way at the bottom. And the reason is because the lowest tier gear is at the bottom, but I want to give you some points of value. These brooms here, we touched on them on the gold tab. 10 brooms for 750 club coins compared to 20k for 2. So the way that starts to scale up is crazy. So the amount to even get to 20, all you need is 1,500. You get far more than that with your club daily for a club that is completing all the club challenges. Compared to the 200k gold that you need, you can get a few stacks of these brooms. And that's where like the value for these brooms are amazing here on this club tab. And gear in general is amazing here. So let's start going down. Brooms, amazing. I personally get them from here anytime I need them. Then let's go up to the essences. All of these essences, I want to get this one here. All the essences are very good price as well. So it's not quite as cheap as the brooms, but for the next tier up of how many you need versus how much you're going to spend farming these, so well worth your gear to go down and buy stacks of essences and load up on the ones that you need for gearing up your main characters. So always, as I said before, work on your main characters first, and then after that, get some ready for characters you may want to invest in afterwards. And I personally used to like to work at stacks of 500 for these things because you chew through them fast. Now, because I'm really low on gear and currency, I'm working at the smaller stacks, just making sure I've got enough to create the gear that I'm needing. So moving forward, strange fibers, another good one. The value is creeping up a little bit, but still very well worth it compared to the costs in energy. So if we actually go after this, we'll go and look at how much all these cost energy wise for actual farming, but it's far less, especially when you dump full bars of energy. How often would you pull 10 for a full bar of energy? Often it'll take you a few full reflyers. You might get 1, 2, 3, 4, lucky 6. Who knows? But would you rather spend that on these, or as you start going out, would you rather spend all that energy getting the equivalent of the droplets? So then you can see these ones are 4 for 4,000, so 1,000 each, whereas these are like 275 each. So stacks of 10 and dividing by 10. The value goes up and up, and even then, droplets are good value as long as you've spent whatever you need on the gear below them. When you've got everything that you need, I would purchase droplets, because you need so many of them. You need 70 per piece of gear, per singular piece of gear, unless it's got multiple steps to that gear. Then you need 70 plus this other one, 70 plus this other one. It can start adding up. But for the next step of gear, for the needles and lightnings and thorns, 6,000 for 4. So this is my priority. I would farm all of these top ones. Use all your energy farming the highest level that you can of gear, and use your other club currency to purchase the other ones that you don't need. Now that is all going to depend on what stage you're at. I'd always maximize your main team first, and then work on whatever other event team, or see what your priority is. If you want to get the frozen team, the full frozen team, prioritize getting that. When you're done with that, prioritize gearing it up, and then work on other characters. That's personally what I'll do, to make sure you got a super strong core that can get you far in all sorts of game modes. Most importantly, ST, so you can get more gems, and then take you further in other game modes. That is the theory and the idea. So hopefully that helps, and that makes sense. That's the way I work on things, and definitely I love the gear on this tab. There was once a day that we didn't have this much gear. You can check back in my old exchange videos if you want to see what the older exchanges are like, but definitely I like it. Gear, amazing. Now, tournament exchange. This has changed quite a bit as well. So Hades, Shan, Mordu, all have been removed as the exclusive. No longer they're exclusives, you can now farm them. Although, as just like in the premium, they are still treated as they were exclusive costs. So their costs are at the exclusive cost other than the farmable costs. So 6,000 for 4, or 8,750 for 5. So there is quite a wee bit of difference. And honestly, when it comes down to it, who should you farm from this tournament exchange? Now that's going to depend on who you want to go for. People, if you want to get the best character that you can, that's going to get you the furthest, Shan is that character. So you're going to want to farm him, and you're going to want to get him here, because he's going to bring up every single other kingdom character that you have. Then I would honestly say Anna. Get Anna, because she's going to get you far on your main team, support so many other teams, and for most importantly for a lot of people, be there to stack yourself for the frozen team. She's a key component to that and many teams. She's one of the best supports currently, but does pretty amazing for herself. So she is who I would recommend focusing on. Now, you can also get other characters like Dr. Facilia here, which he'll do amazing for tower, but honestly, I would try and farm him. Any other character that you want, I would honestly just try and farm. Yes, you would farm Anna as well, but to speed it up, I would honestly just say go for her, and then whoever else that you need after that. Now, as far as Merlin goes, I love Merlin. He used to be my favorite support in the game, and I still do really love him and use him a lot. But for everyday other person who is wanting, he's probably not going to do as much as the other characters if you were trying to get value. So this is all about value. Now, if you value a character that you love, by all means, go for who you love. I don't want to stop that. I don't want to stop people from having fun. But if you're trying to get who the best is, then go for that. And then afterwards, maybe after you've done Shan Anna, then I would recommend potentially either choose what path you want to go down. Do you want to get Dr. Facilia so you can get through all sorts of other PvE modes? So any kind of events that let you use him, as well as tower modes. He'll help you breeze through them. So that's where he can be good, or you can go for the likes of Hades, so you can have more mythicals, and you can get yourself far if you're up to say Tower 5 when you need them, or their events. Now, I will say, side note, one big change also is the Sorcerer's trials for the stones. You're going to want to have the minimum amount to at least do the first stage of each of those. So if you need to unlock, say, another mystical in Merlin or Horn King, this will probably be the easiest place to start doing that. Maybe just get them to unlock to whatever star level that you need them at, and just do that enough to help you progress so you can start getting the stones, so you can buy the stones from the shop and go further, take yourself further, do everything to get yourself there a little bit further after prioritizing your main team. That's what I'd recommend. Now, moving forward, let's go Tower Exchange. Tower Exchange, you're going to get different spells added in every single tower level you go up. Now, it's pretty easy for new players to get to tower level 3. After a few weeks in, you'll probably be around about there. Now, once you get a few more Oceanics, then you can get past that level, and then you'll have your downtowns to get you past tower level 4. It all depends on the teams that you're going to make, but you can start progressing quite fast. Now, what should you buy out of this tab? I would honestly wait until, say, Golden Hammer starts to show up, and I believe that's around Tower 3, Tower 4. Get Golden Hammer just so you can use it, and focus farm that. As far as everything else, I'd even say you don't even have to focus farm it, because the spell packs are by far the best value. Now, you can start opening them as soon as you say unlock Golden Hammer and things like that. You can start opening them, because I personally think you can potentially wait until you get Blue Fairy Magic or Splash Mountain, but honestly, I think there are enough spells in there. There are lots that are good enough. If you want to and you have patience, wait for Spell Pack 5. If you don't, Spell Pack 3 and 4, as long as it's the one that you can unlock Golden Hammer, I'd say they're pretty fun to start spending on. But the reason why I say that is, do you want to pay 2,000 of your currencies for 2 tokens, or under 2,000 for 5? Yes, it is random, but they've all got the same percentage chance, and there really isn't that much of variety. Now, currently, the ones that aren't very good, Wand, hopefully it gets a buff in the future, but if you're not at the level 5, then take that out. And Dumbo is not very good at the moment either after its nerf, and he probably is deserving of some sort of buff, whether it's a speed buff to make him faster or something. But the rest of the spells can have their uses. Infinity-sided dice, although you're probably going to have a lot of them from Club Dungeon. But the Conjuring Cauldron, that is very good at high level. Hammer, amazing. The Sleeping Fairies, Fairy Slumber, pretty good. Shadow, pretty good. Mortal Potion, pretty good. And all of these can be pretty good. The only ones that aren't very good is like Magical Meteor, and everything else can have a use. Although, say, Sugar Rush is a little bit slow to use, but every other one of them is pretty much useful. And And saying that, even if you get something that's not useful, for your 2,000 invested or less than 2,000 invested, you can open 2 packs. And even if you want half the spells in here, you got 50% chance that you're going to open one that you're going to want, and then still have an extra bonus token. So for 2 packs opened, you're going to be looking at just over 3,500 tokens. You're going to have 10 spell tokens. Whereas if you were to buy them singularly, you're only going to be having just over 2. Yikes. So that's why I recommend this. And there is a lot of usability. Then you can also unlock more spells and then have some enjoyment trying different things. And you can use them in different game modes and for different strategies. And that's what I personally like. So I would recommend doing that. Now let's go moving on. Sorcerer's Exchange. This is where you can get those chipped speed stones. And by far the best is this gold yellow speed stone. And pretty much I would recommend go and do the events until you can buy 5 of these, enough that you can have 1 on each character in your team, and then you might also then swap one of them out for a health stone or a defense stone or something else that you might need on one of your defending characters. Pretty much 95% of the time, speed is going to do you better than any other stone. There are certain circumstances where maybe a damage stone can do you well, or in certain circumstances, a chipped stone, a chipped amber or something like that can do you very well. But the circumstances on those are a little bit smaller. So just work on who you need. And speed will get you a lot further. Also, you can equip and unequip for them, so that's why I recommend getting 5. It doesn't even matter if you don't end up using some of them, because eventually you'll be able to fuse 3 of those into 1 half stone, and then you'll be left with less anyway, and it'll always do you well. But for those 5, you can unequip and equip to whoever you're going to use. So I'd recommend doing that. Now for the token exchange, this is where you get duplicate. When you get a max character, when you then pull their tokens, you get these little question mark tokens. So like just over there. And every 1 duplicate token that you get is going to equate to 10 of these. So 100 will be 10 duplicate character tokens that you've pulled. 150 would be 15 duplicate tokens that you've pulled. And here, Steamboat Mickey is exclusive. I personally really like him. I think he does need a bit of a buff on his reflectors, I've said in his videos. But in saying that, who do you want to get from this exchange? I would 100% just go Mickey, because it's the only place you can get him. And I'd say he will have value, and even more so when he is buffed. But unless you need one of these other characters and working really hard to get them, then maybe do that for a character that you're trying to get. But other than that, stick with a Mickey. Now for the VIP exchange, here, man, this is changing so much. And the loyalty coins, for the amount of gold that it costs you, I don't think is that worth it. You don't get that much gold from it. You don't get that much any other things from it. It's not that great a value. In saying that, the next 10 times and a 5 times chest, they are cheaper buying them from gems here than you would see them in a normal shop. So if you are buying these kind of chests to open anyway, then this is a cheaper option. In saying that, I think there are better uses for gems. You only ever want to do that if you are in excess of gem and you're spending a lot, and you're going to be doing that anyway. So then they are there. Next of all, what has just been added is all of the stone upgrade material. Now, I believe it's only the ones from the events that have passed recently that are in here. So by the time the Oceanic one passes, maybe they'll refresh it, and then they'll start having all the different types at different stages. But for now, we have got the faint green and the faint red and the faint purple. You can get them if you're going to go and get the half stones. So if you're buying all the chip stones, you can get the half stones, upgrade them 3 into 1, to make a 5% into a 10%. for the gems it costs, that's probably actually a decent deal for what people have been spending to get those half stones. So in saying that, it is probably quite worth it. For the 1,000 for the 2 chip stones, I would honestly rather go for the 1,000 sorcerer coins. And as the events seem to be coming around quite regularly, I'll just go for that. The only reason why you would want to do these if you short and spending a lot. That's the only reason. For the Jessie tokens, always a bargain for 200k gold for 3 of her tokens. Would you rather have 20 brooms or 3 Jessie tokens? I know I'd rather want Jessie tokens. We're a bit exclusive at the moment over 20 brooms. Next we get down to all the kind of exclusive character shards. Now they are priced at a premium because they are rare, more rare tokens that were only available in certain places, although now some of them are becoming farmable. So things like Davy, you're really going to get your dollars worth out of, your gems worth out of, if you're trying to max him and go for him. Zurg, another one, if you are going all out, then it's a way to get some of his tokens every single time until you've got him unlocked. And down for the stones, the gold, the 3 for the gold, 100% worth it, because everyone is short of stones at the moment. Now, when it gets to the gem costs, they are quite pricey, so I'd only recommend them. Yet again, pretty much all these tabs, the VIP tabs, are only for people who are spending a lot. And down to the spell tokens, 100% I would go for the tournament, the tower packs to get them, only for people who are spending a lot to get all these, and then likewise with the spell mats. And for gear, it is cheaper to get everything here than it is in the premium exchange. So for all the gear down here, it's cheaper if you just buy it in the VIP. And the value of everything that it would cost to buy all these gems to make one of those pieces of gear, it actually adds up to a lot less in this VIP tab. So if you're rushing through things and spending, this is not a bad cost to get some of these threads and cloths, because some of them is a lot of grinding to get there. So hopefully this has helped, and can't wait to see what other changes. The changes are becoming fast and frequent, and it's nice. I like that they're doing changes. I like that they're upgrading the way that things are happening and things that are coming in. What we can see from some of the changes is they are making more characters, more ways to get things, and that is always going to be good. Now, what I will do is show you what I meant earlier about grinding for gear. Up here in stage 6, do you want to spend 10 gear to get one of these? So one of these 10 gear, 10 energy to get one of these, like the thorns or the needles and all those types of things that cost 600 club currency? Or do you want to spend 10 to get a droplet, which costs 4,000? You start getting your value out of the higher gear items when you can spend your other lower ones in here. And likewise, the more you go down, do you want to spend 8 energy on one extract when extracts, like 10 extracts for 2,000? Or would you rather spend those 2,000, get 20 extracts, or get yourself 8 droplets from the shop? So this is where it becomes, for any of these lower tier gears, it becomes so much better to just purchase them from the shop rather than trying to farm them, because they get so cheap compared to the energy cost. Whereas the more expensive ones, you'll probably want to be best off farming them, farm as much of these as you can, and then purchase all the other ones that you need with the currencies. So hopefully that has made sense. Hopefully this is going to help you progress a lot further than you would have. And if it does, let me know in the comments below. I love to hear from you all, and I love all the support. So I can't wait to do more for you all, and we'll see you all soon.